What it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pimps and simps, welcome to the Mac Life Podcast, #1 pimp podcast here in the world, back for episode number 23. We have a lot to go over today. A lot of exciting stuff, same as every damn day. Back again, and if you are new to the podcast, I run this podcast every single day with the intention of, #1, spreading some helpful information to everybody, and then #2, growing my YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers. That is the goal. Why? Because at 100,000 subscribers, I'll be able to, after providing years of free value, go ahead and monetize it in a certain way to bring more money back to myself. This is the most honest channel on YouTube. I say it as it is. I'm growing this YouTube channel with the intention of bringing value for free in the interim so that in the long term, I can make money off people like you watching this, whether that's in AdSense or whatever. Okay, and that actually raises point #1 today, which is we are so close to becoming monetized. On YouTube, okay, if you watch my other podcasts, I explain this, you need 4,000 watch hours. This is how close we are, baby. 3,987 minutes of public watch time. That means it's recommended via YouTube or from other socials. There's no paid program. And that actually leads to point #2 of today already, which is this is the way that I have been growing my channel very smartly to gain subscribers and watch time. I send $50 worth of ads a day to a certain video in a playlist. And even though those watch hours don't count, because the video is in a playlist, it pushes people on to watch more videos. So any additional videos they watch has been counting towards my watch hours. However, when I checked my Gmail this morning, my account, my Google Ads account, which I've had forever, has been suspended. Why? It said for trying to circumnavigate Google's merchant rules, okay? And I thought about it, I looked and I was like, motherfucker, I don't even have a Google merchant account. That was only for my e-commerce stores. So I'm really not sure what it's talking about. I've requested the review on Google. I've sent off all the information. They said they're working on it, so hopefully we can get that back up and running. I really don't understand. I haven't changed anything. I haven't tweaked anything. I've just had that one video with Google Ads pumping $50 a day, and I'm getting around 3 cents per view. So that one video, okay, and this is why you shouldn't trust views on YouTube. They can be so deceptive, okay? That one video, compared to the others on my channel, has 33,000 views. Because when you can pay for marketing, you can make things look crazy, okay? So really when you're making your choices of purchasing a product or a service, don't just look at the vanity metrics. Really listen to what the person is saying, okay? And then think, have they done what I'm trying to achieve? If so, then you can take their advice. Otherwise, don't let the vanity metrics fool you, okay? And this is just one example. Even though these are all vanity metrics, the 33,000 views, I targeted OnlyFans. I targeted people searching for relevant stuff. So every subscriber that's come from those videos are people that are genuinely interested in my content. So those people are going to be likely to watch more videos or purchase something later on if it suits them. However, okay, if I was to just target India, men, Bangladesh and Brazil and targeted those countries, okay, and targeted open for any keyword, it doesn't matter, I could get less than 1 cent per view, pump my views to hundreds of thousands. However, it really doesn't help me in the long term, the short term, and it really just adds social proof. That's it. So make sure you're smart when it comes to checking out social proof and all that sort of stuff. Make sure you do your due diligence. Diligence is a great word. And starting from yesterday as well, I thought if you're going to watch this podcast, we might as well not just learn the information that I'm going to give out, but I'll learn something as well, and you can actually learn 2 things at once. We're adding in an English word of the day every single podcast. I find, well, maybe some podcasts I'll forget, but the majority of podcasts, we're going to add in a new English word to learn. We're going to try and use it throughout the space of this podcast, and then really ingrain it. Some of the words I don't know, some I already do know, and I just want to reaffirm them and try to bring them into present consciousness so that I can use them more. And the whole purpose of this is to sound incredibly intelligent. There is no other reason. No, it's just to learn, okay? I'm a constant advocate of learning, and why not take up the opportunity to learn whenever you can? So today's word is a word that I didn't know, and it's diminutive. Hey Google, define diminutive.
Diminutive has 2 different meanings. Starting with the most common one, diminutive can be used as an adjective to mean unusually small, similarly to tiny and little. Is that the meaning you had in mind?
That's it. Thank you, Google.
You're very welcome.
So, diminutive means tiny or very, very small, okay? That's just another word that we can add in. If you didn't know what diminutive, now you have it. Can you hear all those sirens? I live not too far from the hospital, which has its benefits and it has its cons. Obviously, the benefit is if I was to fucking be in a near-death accident, I'm very close to the hospital. However, the negatives are you constantly have to listen to the sirens in the background and the medevac chopper that comes in. Rattles everything. I have a lot of glass, a lot of open space as well, big verandas outside and everything. So it actually hums on my glass. Okay, what else? So we've been banned on Google ads. Now, if you know about the OnlyFans style stuff, this is what we'll be focusing on for the rest of this podcast. Pretty much everything is on OnlyFans and some lifestyle optimization stuff. I had 10 girls originally working for me, okay? I cut a few because their accounts didn't perform. However, and I wanted to keep it at 10. I recommended that if you run an OnlyFans agency, you keep it to 10 girls. However, after now I've been able to smooth out some of the processes and some of the processes, okay? And being able to make it really streamlined, I can definitely scale as long as I have the correct teams in place. I have a team already that handles all the messaging side of things, pricing, sales, all of that. And they've been with me for quite a while. However, I'm going to end up needing someone. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but I'm going to end up needing someone to come on board as well for the future scaling plans. At the moment, the goal is to get 20 girls on board working and higher quality girls. So some of the girls that I've signed up in the last few days, their accounts are already turning over, 5,000 plus US a month without any messaging. So the potential for them to grow to 10 to 15K a month just from implementing my team's strategies is really, really high. We're just going to take over, pretty much up the amount of profit that's made from the account. We're obviously going to get our split. The ladies are going to make more money and we're taking away all their workload by handling all the messaging. Today, the scaling plan, as I spoke in yesterday's podcast, we're actually increasing to handle 20 ladies. I now have 12 to 14 girls on board. I was on 9 yesterday. And I have 5 or 6 contracts that have been sent out through Gmail this morning. Just waiting on the contracts to come back, the content to be uploaded to Google Drive, and then my team will onboard and start taking care of all those ladies' accounts as well. How am I able to get all these ladies? Okay, I teach this fucking shit in the course, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I do not care if you buy the course or not. There's enough value here if you want to stinge out and get the free content. The course is $99, okay? I don't need to sell it to you, but there it is. If you want more definitive step-by-step shit, it's there. The way in which I'm getting ladies is using one of the tactics using DM ads. I'm not going to describe it exactly, the specifics, but I am clocking in DMs, so applications for ladies wanting to work for me, for around 75 cents an application. 75 cents. Ladies that are willing, ready to go, and 90% of these ladies are ready to go immediately. I would say only 10% are time wasters. You are going to get time wasters in whatever industry it is. The cool part is it's very quick to figure out. Now I have certain metrics in place as well where I can filter out ladies. I could honestly take on 100 ladies a day if I wanted, but the amount of workload between everything would have been too much. I'm going to explain in a minute as well how to streamline that. The workload would have been too much. And the results compared to focusing on a few ladies, okay, a select handful of 10, 20, 30 ladies that already earn a significant amount of money and then boosting their profiles with cross-promotion and paid media. There's some crazy sirens going on today. With paid media, it's far better for me time-wise to put my time, effort, and attention there. And when you transition out of working, say a 9-to-5 job and working for someone else and getting paid from someone else, what you realize is the only difference between you and billionaires, besides maybe, where they started in terms of capital and leverage and what family they were born into, majority of, a handful of them, I should say, started off in the exact same position as you, but yet they're able to achieve a lot more, a lot faster. So what do they have that's different? A lot of them aren't more athletic, their IQs aren't that much bigger. So what is it? They just allocate their time, their main attention, resource, okay, which is time and attention, to something different, to something that's more profitable, more yieldable in the long term. And really, Alex Hormozi said this best, and he said, if you're not going to do something forever, why even bother doing it? And it applies to diets. You look at diets and you're like, well, if I'm going to, just eat meat and up my protein to 150 grams extra and all this additional shit, but I'm only going to do it for 3 months and then stop, what's the point? Because you're just going to revert back to the way that you were. Unless you only are aiming for short-term results, why not find something that you can stick with long-term, okay, and then push through with that? And that's exactly why I've switched to this OnlyFans business. I can focus on this extremely long-term. The podcast I'd be willing to do for the rest of my life. And that's not saying that it won't change and the formats won't change. Maybe the podcast will end up on Spotify. Maybe I'll end up with a crew around me. Maybe I'll end up interviewing. Okay, the means will change. But the goal, okay, in the specific niche or the parameters of the niche, they won't change. So I implore you to go out and find what it is for you that's going to work. If you're here watching the OnlyFans stuff, maybe it's the OnlyFans stuff as well. And the cool thing is, even though I can scale, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute, the scaling plan to being able to onboard 100 ladies, which is now the new goalpost. Even that, it's a negligible amount of the market. It's non-existent amount of the market. Me helping 10,000 other people have 100 ladies on board wouldn't even touch the surface of the available market, but yet could make us all extremely wealthy and will make me very wealthy. So why not help people? Why not push out this podcast? I enjoy talking as well. I enjoy giving out the more long format compared to the little, 1 minute Instagram videos where I'm trying to rush everything in and trying to come up with what captivates people's attention. I'd rather just push out shit and the people who find value in it will stick around, listen long term. And if that's you, hit subscribe. Okay, so this is how I've streamed out the first thing which I want to talk to you about is in the course, and I mentioned this and I'm going to have to update it, okay? I talk about how to take payments from the ladies. And it's very important that the payments always come to you first. You do not want to add in the role of becoming a debt collector yourself. You do not want to be chasing down payments. And if you're constantly hassling and asking your girls for money, number one, it puts them in a position of power over you, okay? And it really takes away at them over time. If they see, $2,000 come into their account, they don't care about the work you've put in. They see $2,000 come in and then they see you ask and take $1,000. Over time, all they see is you taking compared to what you're giving, okay? That's not the relationship you want. So to inverse that, you want the money to come to you and then you pay the girls. They're not doing any of the workload, maybe minimal helping out here and there, okay? But they're just seeing a $1,000 paycheck come to them, then a $1,500 paycheck, then a $10,000 paycheck, whatever it is, okay? And it elevates the difference. And that is a way healthier way to do business. What's the difference is that I had all the payments from all my girls coming to my company's bank account and then issuing bank account payments out. The problem is with bank account payments, and especially international, it becomes very time taxing, number one, to go through and do bank transfers. Bank transfers are very, as they are. There are more chances for human error, okay? You put one wrong account number, one wrong BSB, one wrong SWIFT code, one wrong, bank account name, one small discrepancy, okay? And there is much more room for human error, and then you have to rectify those issues. On top of that, there are longer periods of transfer time. So it transfers to you, okay? Your girl might be working from Brazil. Now you have to do another international transfer over to her account, okay? There are large pools of time. And slow money, okay, is not how you get rich. You do not get rich with slow money. You need constant cash flow coming in. And this is a highlight that is a big difference between the rich and the poor. Poor people have slow money. Rich people have fast money. Rich people have money coming in daily. I have money from multiple sources here. I can allocate money going in, money going out, money going in, money going out, paying for ads, and this coming. Poor people have slow money. Work. End of the week, paycheck. Hold on to your paycheck because you've got to pay bills, utilities, rent, phone, whatever it is. Hold. Work. Paycheck comes in. You do not want that. You want fast money. Fast money is key. So the way in which that I've streamlined this process for the girls now, let me tell you, if you've stuck around this long, thank you for listening to my voice and now I'll actually get into the juice, is that the money gets transferred to the bank account on a Friday, okay? That gives it the weekend to process. The payment itself is processed on the Friday. It's still electronically processed over the weekend, which is understandable. People understand that things are slower on the weekend. The money is deposited by the Monday, the Tuesday, or the Wednesday at the latest. Okay, that's given it three business days plus 2 additional days of processing time. And then you pay the ladies via PayPal. Yes, you will lose a little 2% cut, but it is 100% worth it for the time, the amount of human error you remove. You only need their Gmail or their PayPal account email address, and boom, you just bang, it's instant. The money is boom, there in their account. They see it come in, they can do with it what they want. And for accounting purposes, it makes it 1000% easier, especially if you used automated software that pick up keywords. What do I mean by that? For bookkeeping purposes, if, money comes in and I make a transfer to Chelsea, okay? Now, I have to code up and say that all money that goes to Chelsea is a payment for a 50-50 split, boom, so that it can track, okay, each time. Now Chelsea might change her account or whatever it is, I have to redo that. Okay, now I'm sending one to Anastasia, okay? Fuck, now I've got to code up the exact same thing for Anastasia. However, with PayPal, I can just set the keyword as PayPal, and as long as you have a separate PayPal account or you don't use PayPal for anything else, all PayPal payments that go out are just payments as your 50-50 splits. Super easy for your bookkeeping. Everything going out with PayPal is a 50-50 payment split. Super easy. Now on top of that, if you're managing ladies, how do you track the finances? Because you have to remember with OnlyFans, they have a rolling 7-day basis, which means that if a lady makes $100 today, one sale and $100 payment comes in, that's not instantly available to transfer out on that Friday. It takes 7 days. So you need to have a tally of daily earnings, okay? And basically then have a weekly earnings section. Look at how much the ladies have earned you for the week. And then you're going to say, okay, this isn't the payment that's coming in this week because it's going to take 7 days. So the following week, that is the payment that will then be transferred. And then you know how much you can transfer out to your ladies as well. Yes, it takes a bit of math. Yes, it takes a little bit of hustle. That's what business is for. That's what you're fucking here for, to learn skills, get the processes streamlined, hustle down. The problem, as I said, is 99% of people, they'll start to get into this. It gets a little bit tricky. They stutter, they make a mistake. The OnlyFans changes a thing, and instead of improvising, adapting, and overcoming, they change niche. They niche swap. You're a niche swapper. And if you niche swap, you're going to hop your way to fucking being broke. Focus on the one niche. Put in the time over the years. We haven't used the word of the day. You do not want to see diminutive results when you're putting in time. You will see diminutive results. Diminutive, I think the ways Google pronounced it. You will see diminutive results if you niche swap. However, if you stick with something long term and build skills, you will see results that are ubiquitous and fast spread, okay? Ubiquitous was yesterday's word, so we've got him both. You can feel it up in here. We have a few more things to go over. Some exciting shit as well. To start off today was a rough start to my day. First time ever, when people say, my alarm didn't go off, tech never fails. Tech rarely fails. So when people say, I couldn't make it, my alarm, I think about it and I'm like, not really. Something else must have happened. But today it happened to me. I had my alarm set for 8:20 a.m. I woke up and I was like, oh, fuck, hasn't my alarm gone off? Must be early. I went back to sleep. Woke up. Sure? Have I got extra time? Anyway, I get my watch check. I'm like, what the fuck? It's 10:30. Get my phone. I keep my phone away from my bed so that I have to actually get up, turn it off, and then I'm up for the day. Okay, I check my phone. It's 10:30. I look at the alarm section. It says on, but no alarm went off. And I was like, well, you fucked my day already. I had a cracker headache to wake up with. I went to get coffee. The coffee shop had no coffee. Okay, and then I get back and I got a Google ad account suspension. It's all fun. That's just if everything ran operational and streamlined every single day, it would be fucking boring. You need to improvise, adapt, and overcome every single day. But some people would let that get them down. That's the main thing, is like they would start there, and instead of holding that approach of, it's fine. It's a challenge to overcome. Who cares? They let that affect them. Oh, fuck, I've got to upload. I'm fucking well behind. Oh, fuck, what do you mean no coffee? Oh, my Google ad account. And then they spiral from there. They spiral. Okay? You need to be able to hold yourself at a almost emotionally distant emotionally distant reserve, I would say. Be able to hold yourself at an emotionally distant distance from what's going on, okay? Don't let the external affect your internal. It's very, very important. That goes both ways. It might be a super exciting da-da-da, and if you get too excited, too aroused, okay? And by aroused, I don't mean sexually aroused. You can be aroused in other ways. It just means a heightened sense of feeling, okay? If you get too aroused, you actually underperform, and that comes from a sports science context. You look at it, you look at athletes, okay? They need an optimal level of arousal to perform the best. If they become too aroused, okay, they become too jittery, they become too nervous, too anxious, and then they perform worse. And again, if you're not aroused enough, you don't have enough motivation, it's really the worst form, okay? Now, we want to look at, this is a big one. This is a big one. Because it happens to every human. No human is apart from this. And it's about self-doubt, how to remove self-doubt. And just in the last few days, this has probably been the most self-doubt I've been able to remove ever, is that look at the culprits of self-doubt. You're doing well, everything's performing well, da-da-da-da-da, and you either have one setback, okay, one issue, which is a setback, which then fucks up everything, and you start doubting yourself, or you compare. You look at how other people are doing, you start to compare, and then you start to say, why aren't I there? Instead of being grateful, you compare, then self-doubt creeps in, and self-doubt has no benefit. There is zero benefit to doubting yourself. Think about it. What benefit can come from sitting there and thinking, oh, I haven't achieved enough, oh, I'm this age, there are other people doing this. It's just hindering your process to actually go and get more, okay? Because you're comparing. So in the last few days, if you've been listening to the podcast, spitting everywhere because we're up to week 9 today, new Invisalign in, week 9. If you're removing all the information that's around you, and like I said, you've been watching the last few days, if you remove all the information and just have 2 or 3 very strict sources of information coming in, self-doubt is very hard. It's very hard for self-doubt to creep in because you're not comparing. You're just like, okay, this person's my mentor, I'm learning from them, I'm working up to that. Okay, this is the information that I use for mindset, I'm going to follow that. There's nothing else coming in. Self-doubt basically becomes removed. The only time self-doubt can creep in is an issue pops up and you're like, oh, and see, for example, a Google ad account ban might be, you're like, oh fuck, but I'm using Google ad accounts for this, da-da-da-da-da. But when you remove everything else, okay, and you're putting more time into these things, you're like, who cares? I've got all the time. I'm a Google Ads expert. I will figure this out. I can buy another account. I can speak with the merchant team. I can call up the team. I've got friends and connections who fucking spend hundreds of thousands and millions. I've got friends who genuinely spend millions a year on Google Ads. They'll be able to help me out. It's no stress. Okay. So removing self-doubt. You know, if you are aiming to achieve anything, you really need to remove doubt. A fantastic read on this, and this is actually in my list of resources of things that I listen to still, okay? Even though I have my mentors, I have one additional book, which is my general philosophy of life. Go and listen to the book, The Science of Getting Rich, okay? There's an audio book on YouTube for free. It goes for a few hours. You can listen on 1.5 speed to speed up because he talks like this. So you can speed that up, okay, get him more information faster. And if you think, like, this motherfucker, he speaks fast, you know, it's a stupid thing that we hear in this, like, manosphere space where they're like, oh, you must be slow, you must be deep, you must be da-da-da-da, okay? Fuck that. Be how you are, number one, embrace it. And number two, I like the fact that I speak quick on top of the fact that it allows me to get in more information quicker. I can put out information quicker, which means I can get feedback quicker, which means I can learn quicker, which means I can get results quicker. Speed, baby. I keep that speed. Keep that speed. 2 last things to go over. If you're a young man or a young lady, okay, and you work online, you work remotely, I highly recommend that you take the time. This will have a large amount of benefits. Remove yourself from your environment and go solo. You'll see a lot of my videos like this from March. I'm removing myself from my environment and I'm heading over to Phuket, Cambodia, Vietnam before Dubai. Why these places in particular is the cost of living is so cheap that it is impossible not to build wealth, okay? You can stay in a bomb-ass fucking pad for, you know, $1,000 a month. And that's like higher tier luxury. If you want to go luxury, $2 or $3 grand a month, you can stay in a fucking 6-bedder fucking penthouse, whatever you want in these countries. Food is beyond cheap, $2 to $3 a meal in most places. And another benefit is that you've removed yourself from your environment, so you're in a monk mode focus. You only have, a single purpose. You're reminding yourself every day while you're away from what you would call your normal life. You're like, why am I away from all this? Because of my purpose. So it reiterates to you constantly to focus down on your purpose. And then on top of that, you become more cultured and more grateful. You look around at these places where people really do have nothing, and you say to yourself, like, why would I have self-doubt about not earning 10 mil a year when I'm earning $1 million because other people are earning 10 mil? Look at these fucking people who are, they're getting by on less than $3 a day. That's what they're making. They're selling a few meals a day. They may be taking in, $20 AUD, okay? And then they have all their other costs and their food and everything. Then they're paying for their whole family. Each they're on about $2 a day, or even less, some of them. So you look and you really think to yourself how fucking blessed you are, how grateful you are, how lucky you are, and that almost divine, whether you're religious or not doesn't matter, but that divine feeling of gratefulness provides tranquility, serendipity, and allows you to stay focused. Okay? Some good words there. Tranquility and serendipity are bangers as well. Final thing, okay, and this is the scaling with OnlyFans stuff that I want to mention here at the end is, comfortably with my team handling messaging and sales, realistically we could handle 50 accounts, not more than that. Realistically we could handle 50 accounts being on the ball, okay? And then at that stage, to scale up to 100 accounts, I'm going to need to hire someone. So this is an exciting part of this video. I put it out on Instagram for a brief second and I had to turn the story post off because I got fucking bombarded with people, but I should have made the requirements more clear because all it did was essentially waste my time. I will be looking for someone to work for me as an offsider. You will receive a full-time wage. However, we must connect first on a friendship level because we'll be spending a lot of time together. You must be able to travel. You must be someone who is able to travel. You must be someone who's motivated, and you must be someone who's willing to learn, okay, as well as someone who can take initiative to learn on their own, because there will be tasks that I give you, okay, that you will need to go and figure out yourself because they're things that I don't know and I actually haven't had time to learn, and I don't have time to learn. Essentially, you will be handling a portion of the ladies that work for me from everything. The messaging, the content uploading, to making sure that they're all happy, to making sure that they're getting paid, handling the books, reporting back to me, growing the Instagram, all these features. You will receive a full-time wage, but you must be willing to travel as well. You will need to be there with me. And so obviously I'm going to be very selective about who I'm choosing to bring on for that. On top of that, it's not just going to be a wage. It's I don't really believe in it. Like, the wage is more just for the fact that you need to survive. I understand that. I understand that people need money to do things, and that's why I pay a wage. However, same with all my employees, I offer them a small chunk based on the work that we work towards as a unit, as a team. So you will actually receive equity within this program. Not within the company because it runs a few different things, but you will receive a portion of the money that's made as well paid to you. So that's something else. As I said, I'm not pressed. I put it out. I had hundreds of messages within the space. I legitimately had hundreds of messages within the space of an hour. I had to remove the post. But reach out to me if you're interested in that. You think we connect. The majority of time will be spent, content, taking care of the girls, traveling, getting some travel footage, as well as other key interests like jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So feel free to reach out with me. On top of that, I'm connecting with a lot of big entrepreneurs this year coming up as soon as I'm out of Australia. Some of the guys that I'm meeting with, they're from different clubs, let's call it, different clubs. And they, turn over millions a month. So the network that you'll get to connect with is just incredible as well. So there's the job offer. It's out there. It's definitely not a diminutive job offer. It's quite a large offer because there is a lot of potential. So see, it's hard to fit words that you don't know or don't use into sentences. So that's why it's important that we add this in today. And that is it for today. Scaling plan is 100. The last thing I want to leave you with today, okay, and this is an exciting number to look at, is imagine you have 100 ladies on board, and at minimum you're taking on girls who earn $5K a month, USD. Your cut of that is 250K USD a month, okay? And then you look, and that's probably, if we want to look at AUD, I think that's probably going to be around, 387, I don't know, 400. Let's just say 400K a month. In AUD, 400K a month in AUD, and then you spend your 10%, so you spend 40K a month on your ads, your paid ads. Think how quickly your channels are going to grow. Once you start to hit this steamroll, the ball just keeps rolling. And the problem is everyone has these goals and they'll come across like little setbacks. And again, I'm just rehashing this point. You'll come across setbacks, and instead of sticking with it and moving towards it, you'll just chop and change niche. And that was probably the biggest problem I had with dropshipping. Even though I kept finding success, we kept dominating. Me and Adam, we had the pet bed store doing millions. We had all these certain things going. Is as the market or the product itself becomes saturated, you would need to find a new product. And that means a new niche, and that means learning a new target audience, and that means learning a whole new array of things. And myself, I ran it for such a long time, but I was stuck at that level and wasn't able to find further success. And so I only switched where I realized that being in a different niche or a different opportunity vehicle, okay, if I had invested the same amount of time, would have yielded better results and less stress. And that is why I switched niche. So there's nothing wrong with switching, but it is important to know when to switch and when to stay focused and when to stay true, okay? And now that I'm here, dropping these potties day to day and pushing out this business, keen to hit 7 figures this year, at least 7 figures this year, and then scale up to 8 and further. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit subscribe. I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Das after.